Hey everyone, it's me, Carly Burridge, founder and owner of Gaining Health, and we are back for another episode of What's Up Wednesday, where I review recent journal articles or books having to do with obesity management. So today we are talking about an article from the recent April edition of the Obesity Journal, and we are talking about the selection of anti-obesity medications based on phenotypes enhancing weight loss. So this was a study by Andres Costa et al. Again, it's from the April edition of the Obesity Journal. And they looked at 450 subjects with obesity, and they evaluated them using body composition, indirect calorimetry to find their energy expenditure. They gave them validated questionnaires and validated studies to classify them into various obesity phenotypes. And so they ended up identifying 4 different obesity phenotypes. One is the hungry brain, which is if a person has abnormal satiation. And that is defined as the number of calories that the person consumes before they feel full and before they stop eating. And so what they used for this one was an ad lib buffet. And about 16% of the participants in the study were identified as hungry brain. So again, that's abnormal satiation. So not getting full in one meal. And you'll have the patients who say that to you, I never feel full. That's somebody who would be identified as a hungry brain. The second one is hungry gut, which is defined as abnormal satiety, which is the duration of that fullness. So how long after a meal do they start to feel hungry again? So that return of hunger. And that was called hungry gut. And about 18% of the participants were identified as hungry gut with this abnormal satiety. About 12% of the participants were identified as emotional eaters, or this emotional hunger, where they have that hedonic eating, which is characterized by, eating due to negative mood, just emotional eating, cravings, reward-seeking behaviors, despite, normal hunger levels. So eating even when we're not hungry for emotional reasons. So that's considered emotional hunger. And then 12% were identified as slow burn. And that is identified as somebody who has a decreased metabolic rate. So those people, again, they did indirect calorimetry to figure out the energy expenditure for all of the participants, and about 12% of them had that slow burn. And about 15% of the participants, no phenotype was identified. So it just means that, obesity is incredibly heterogeneous, and there's more research that needs to be done. There's probably lots and lots of phenotypes. And in addition to that, 27% of the participants had more than one phenotype. So they struggled with more than one area. And again, when we see patients like this, you're really going to start thinking about using combination therapy so that we're really hitting all of their trouble areas. And 9% of the participants had all 4 phenotypes. So, the more phenotypes somebody has, the more we probably need to combine medications, combine therapy, and make sure that we're addressing all of those areas that they're struggling with. So then what they did is they matched the phenotypes with the various anti-obesity medications based on the mechanism of action of the anti-obesity medications. So for the hungry brain people, the medication that they used was Qsymia and also Belviq, which is now off the market. So we'll focus on Qsymia. So that's for those patients who just don't feel full, because the mechanism of Qsymia is that it helps with that part of the brain. So for the hungry gut, they used liraglutide, 3 milligrams, or Saxenda. That makes sense. It slows gastric emptying. Those people that had the hungry gut who felt hungry again, an hour or 2 after their last meal, they are emptying their gut more rapidly. And so a medication like Saxenda is going to slow the emptying of the stomach, keep the contents in the stomach longer. That's one of the mechanisms of actions of Saxenda. And then, of course, it also increases satiety in the brain as well. For those participants who struggled with emotional hunger, they matched those individuals with Contrave, again, because it works more on that hedonic part of the brain. And then for those who had the slow burn, they used phentermine 15 milligrams plus resistance training. So the phentermine, because it does affect energy expenditure to some point, and resistance training because the increased muscle mass is going to help with increasing that energy expenditure. So they basically they had two cohorts. They had the control group, which they were given anti-obesity medications and they were given the typical treatment, but the medications were not matched to their phenotype. And then the other group, they actually matched the anti-obesity medication to the phenotype. So they looked to see what the weight loss difference was between these two groups. And they found that the phenotype matched group had a 1.75-fold greater weight loss than the control group. So the phenotype matched group had an average of 15.9% total body weight loss at 12 months compared to a 9% total body weight loss in the non-phenotype matched group. In addition to that, 79% of the phenotype matched group lost at least 10% of their body weight, whereas only 34% of the non-matched group lost greater than 10% of their body weight. So, it just goes to show that that phenotype matched group did a lot better than the people who were not matched, whose, medications were not matched based on any type of phenotype. So again, it shows the heterogeneity of obesity. We're not just talking about one disease, it's many diseases. There's many different places in the brain and in the body where people struggle with obesity. I think this is really the future of that precision, personalized medicine. And in the meantime, I would also say that, we can get a lot of this information by taking a really good history of our patients. We can ask our patients these questions, how do they feel after a meal? Your patients will tell you. If you allow them a chance to talk, you will have those patients that say, I just never feel hungry. I don't know what it means to feel full, right? So that's the hungry brain. Or the people that say, I can eat a full meal, but an hour later I'll be hungry. That's hungry gut. Or for people that tell you, I don't really eat because of hunger. I eat because I know I'm a stress eater, or I'm an emotional eater, or I just, crave certain foods. Or if they tell you that, XYZ food is their drug, that's an example of a hedonic eater. And then we can do indirect calorimetry in the office to check for that slow burn as well. So again, I think this is a great study. It really gives us a lot of insight that there's a lot of different reasons for the development of obesity, and we really need to try to match the treatment to that phenotype. And then lastly, of course, if you have not gotten a copy yet of the Developing an Obesity Management Program, the Healthcare Providers Roadmap, still available on the website at gaininghealth.com. We also have templates and forms and everything like that available on the website. And hopefully soon we'll have our patient education materials ready, probably another month or so, and we'll have those ready for you. If you subscribe at gaininghealth.com, then I'll keep you updated on any new materials that are coming out. And thanks so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Take care.